You guys thought I let this year pass without a direct? Hey everybody, Uptick here, and welcome to the third Basic Mouse Direct, a special program where I announce news related to the game. That game being obviously the Basic Mouse game. Today, I won't be long, but I will be direct. As I know, this direct just forced a delay of a highly anticipated event. I do apologize for the inconveniences this caused. But I tell you now, the content of this direct won't disappoint. So, let us begin. The next target of the renewal was the second stage of the game. I am very fond of it. Its principal gimmicks are the buttons, which trigger actions upon clicked, and spinning objects, for short, spinners. A simple premise, and a stellar execution. I esteem it as the best designed stage of the old game, because it applied the cited gimmicks very well, in a reasonably short time. It wraps up in over 40 slides, and takes at least 7 minutes to play. This stage was the perfect template for what I initially envisioned for the Basic Mouse game to be. A series of relatively short stages where I tested out my game making skills to make a fun little game. Just so you know, this wasn't the case. Despite it being a model stage, its surrounding stages were imperfect. Stage 1 was too short and basic, and Stage 3 was too hefty and complex. So, to correct the imbalance, I scrapped it all and started anew, and remade all present and future stages in a consistent standard. It wasn't really hard to reinvent the previous stage, I was making it almost from scratch. But Stage 2 is different. It's my perfect baby boy! So, every single screen of Stage 2 as playable in the Altered James demo is coming back in the renewed Stage 2. Other than that, what's new in the other over 140 slides of the stage? Good question. Despite its evident quality, I didn't properly flesh out many of the gimmicks in the original Stage 2, and oftentimes introduced them very rashly. There's only so much you can do in 40 slides. So, the stage was expanded with precisely that in mind. Now, he who plays the Basic Mouse game will be calmly eased into much of the distinct obstacles that this stage has to offer. But if that doesn't suffice, there's always a helpful speaker block to clarify any doubts. I resolve the player deserves to learn what's going on in due time. The original Stage 2 innovated by being the first with multiple field saves, and the first with a battle event that isn't the boss fight, an avoidance. Obviously there are more field saves, and there are also 3 new avoidances. And with those, 4 all-new mini-bosses. The old age of attacking with floating bombs is over. Here, artillery is born. Remember the time the stage's boss shot these starry bullets? He's not alone now. Introducing the Hoto Shooters, who share this function. Now, you don't have to wait until the boss to find out projectiles are fired on this stage. Epic. Oh, it seems this Hoto Shooter will like its projectiles back. Well, we might stop them. Damn, that spinner seems fast. Who is this man? Who is this man? Who? Alright, so for today's bonus section, we're gonna learn a bit more about the spinners that we see in the new Stage 2. First, obviously, we see the good old basic cross spinners. Cross shape and they spin. Nothing else to know, but it all starts with them. Next up, we have the donut spinners. They also spin without any ceremonies, but they're still apart from their distinctive shape of a cut ring, i.e. a donut. Then, the star spinners. Star-shaped, 4 points, and they also spin, but with a catch. They swivel. And once they finish turning to a direction, they quickly go the opposite way. These are the 3 old spinners we all know and love, but there's more. These spinners do as all spinners do, but they're really pointy. Could you count all of their vertices? They weren't legally considered spinners in the recent demos, but now they are. The 2-sided spinners. They are the simplest of the pack, but also the most complex. They can adopt the attributes of any spinner. They can spin slow or fast, like the crosses. They can swivel, like the stars. They can even... Oh, I'm very sorry, this isn't actually going into the game, And that concludes the spinner roundup. For now, because there are many more spinners to see and face in the remainder of the basic mouse game. I didn't want to end this direct by just explaining what is new in the game, like all the other times. So, for once, I will leave you something else. A delayed Christmas gift, so to speak. Perhaps some of you have noted that out of all the spinners that exist, none of them is more passed over than the donut spinners. They don't get representation in any of the cool fights. I'm sure that if they were conscious, the donut spinners would bemoan their relative irrelevance. But against that backdrop, Iptic provides. Peppered into the new Stage 2, there is a special battle against an old enemy that has fought like never before. Yeah, that's right, they made it. They made it. A mini-boss in this game is literally just 4 donut spinners. 4 donut spinners, okay? And therefore, in honor of this new direct, I am giving out a fraction of this mini-boss so you can play it. Could you defeat 4 magic spinners in a 1v4? Well, test your skills in the new Donut Challenge. Its link is in the description, so download it at once and test your strength against 4 donuts. And then report back to me how it all went. Good luck! And that concludes this basic mouse direct. Hope you've enjoyed this brief experience. Thanks again to all the viewers and future players for watching and commenting here, which is always appreciated. And I hope to see you all soon tomorrow at the true finale of Mouse Course 4. And be always alert of a new direct or any new upcoming project. Bye bye!